All right, welcome to the Halifax November meeting for the UCC, Halifax Northampton, for November. Again, there are 31 days in this month. Seems like they go by just as quick as this little calendar flips here. And today, the LRPC is actually going on. I was in the conference center next door and then skipped out to come over here to do this. Just to make sure that I was able to do both of them. I did show up here at the NC 811 Center. But if you want to hop on after this, it's supposed to go on till 1 p.m. and I'm not sure if it's going to go on that long. They're covering a lot of stuff. One of them is the broadband that's going on with it in different counties. So we had Veterans Day. If you did serve, Daniel, thank you for your service and happy belated Veterans Day. As a reminder, the 23rd and 24th of November are going to be excluded in the 3 working day notice that's required for 811 call. So if you know anybody out there who's going to be affected by this, please let them know. Looking at the locate request for North Carolina, and this is going to be October of 22 versus last month. You can see we had a little over a 12.5% increase across the state. And the year-to-date for the locate request, 6.7. Next slide is the transmissions. Again, it's going to be October of last year versus last month, and just shy of a 9% increase overall, and 5.4 year-to-date. So looking at Halifax, you can see the 3-hour, that just doubled, 100%. Still not a whole lot, only 22 for a 3-hour. The new tickets actually increased 5.2, and then the ticket updates actually went down a little over 21%, which is outstanding. The average locate per day in Halifax, 23. Northampton, the 3-hour increased greatly from 11 to 111, a 900% increase. The new tickets increased as well, 120 over October of last year, and then the ticket updates went from 99 to 347. You can see the percentage there. Average location per day last month for Halifax, 38. So looking at the year-to-date volume for the county of Halifax, you can see it's averaging about 55%. The new tickets are running around 8%, and then which is great, the average for the ticket updates is actually down about 45%. Average locates per day year to date, 28. And in Northampton, unfortunately, 162% increase year to date, about 47.5% for the new tickets. And then even though it was up last month greatly, the ticket updates year to date are down about 1.6%. Average location per day in Northampton, 19. So looking at the 400, let's say 500 in the Halifax, you could say Roanoke Rapids had 258. And out of the 829 for Northampton, Conway came out on top, 235, but Garysburg 129, Woodland had 122 on the bottom down there. So taking a look at the damages that reported not only to 811 but the CGA, you can see Northampton had a total of 3. So Halifax didn't even show up. Must be, I know there's low numbers for the last month, but just 3 damages, that's really good. Hopefully there weren't any more, and folks who are receiving the damages or even causing the damages are reporting them. Again, they're talking about this next door too. So Lewis called it the alligator mouth. He doesn't like to see the alligator mouth. Of course, last year around August, the damages started trending down all the way to the end of the year. For some reason this year, we got right here around September, and they started trending up. So he's calling that the alligator mouth. He doesn't like to see that. And we're looking at the drivers that's causing that. So looking at the top 10 callers for Halifax, you can tell ITG, Wright Meyer Machine Rentals have 33, Dominion Energy, Roanoke Rapids Sanitary District. And ideally, we would like to get these folks to come to the UCC. Next year, we're going to be in person. So we won't meet next month, but when we meet back in July, I've already made reservations at Logan's Roadhouse up in Roanoke Rapids. Reserve that room so we can start the year off right back in person. And then Northampton had the majority of the work. Aptus had 190. Icon Solutions, Fail Construction. So there's quite a lot up here, and I'm sure a lot of it is being driven by the grant money for the rural broadband. So there's a lot of fiber overbuilds going on across the state. If you're in the Durham area, we're going to be there. 811 is going to be there November 29th for the tower lighting. The lighting event takes place from 7 to 8:30. We'll get there probably about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. We have a tent. We're going to do our giveaways. The tower lighting itself is not that big a deal, but the stuff that goes on underneath the tower, I would say, is worth seeing. And then there's a lot of vendors set up, not only through this section, but on the side over here too. It's usually well attended, and sometimes it can get cold out there. So dress appropriately if you plan on attending, and all are welcome. So there is the education team led by Miss Ann Rushing. Mr. Howard Corey covers down on the eastern part. Steve Moore helps us with our media relations. He helps us put these programs together as well. There I am, and I cover down on the Piedmont. So I was joking around with him. I said, Tammy's head's on the shovel. Looks like you're getting ready to throw in the hole. And it was all fun and games until she and I switched places, and then it wasn't so funny anymore. But yeah, just a different graphic showing everybody. And then, of course, Tyler Ross is in the western part of North Carolina. A copy of this presentation, along with our sign-in sheet, is going to be uploaded to the UCC website. I'm going to do that here in a little bit. I'm going to get through with this meeting and then go finish up with the LRPC. If you want to jump on that, you can join virtually if you'd like to. Daniel, that's all I have to present at this time, sir. Is there anything that you would like to talk about going on in either Halifax or Northampton County?
Well, yeah, so Northampton, we got quite a bit going on, and will be taking place here in the next couple of years. So obviously Garysburg are still ongoing. So that's probably why you see a lot of failed construction for Garysburg in Northampton for that project. And as far as the damages go, I know we have a different project in Gaston up NC 46 to the Virginia state line. Just required all the right of way, and we just met with Dominion to have their pre-construction conference for them to start. And one of the resident engineers told me that I reckon during our Garysburg project, Rick and Raleigh, when they were doing the utility investigation, did not pick up an NC line that fed like a school, hospital, and so that was hit. And I think that has been a while back, but I'm not sure if that's one of the damages. But it's also might be part. I don't think it would have been an encroachment since it was already feeding a school, so it wouldn't have been a new utility. I just don't think whoever was doing the utility investigations for that project. Not trying to say like I'm, pleading the fifth or blissful ignorance, but right. I don't think they done their necessary utility investigations or used 811 appropriately, and MCNC line was hit, and that damaged a pretty major fiber line that they had run to a school and several other major or bigger, operations going on within Northampton and Halifax County. So I will mention that.
Gary, North Carolina?
Garysburg. Yes, sir. And I think that's been a while back. So when we met with Dominion Energy last week in Gaston, so that's another project we got ongoing or about to start. It hadn't let yet. Is we R 5739. It's going to go from NC 46 in Gaston intersection to the Virginia state line. That's going to be a road widening project. We're about to have Dominion Energy start relocating their power poles. And they just asked me to kind of reach out to the utility firm handling that because right up the road in Garysburg, like I said, they just hit a major MCNC line and I just wanted to make sure. But we just had our monthly utility coordinator meeting throughout our division in the state yesterday, and Butch brought up the NC 811 survey test, how you can test and see which utilities are out there, which, in my opinion, is one of the more handy tools, just to see and know what is actually out there, and that's helped me the past 2 years. So that's been a really helpful tool. Freaksville Road in Northampton County, Northampton 20 is a bridge project. Monday, November 20th, we're going to shut that road down, be a detour, and we're going to start replacing that bridge. I'm hoping by at least April or March that'll be completed. And then after that, we got about 5 more bridges in Northampton County. Jenkins Mill Road, Deloach Mill, Doolittle Mill, St. John Church Road, and Fire Tower Church Road. Those are the other 5. And then we also have another road widening project, which is going to let several years from now, but you'll probably see increased tickets or, incoming calls to 811. In Northampton County, that's going to be on NC 305, Rich Square, Seaboard, going to the Hereford County line. So we do got some projects definitely coming up and about to start in Northampton County. And really the only thing I'll add is, of course, we've all seen the increased, broadband expansion,
Yep.
telecoms, and maybe Butch or Kyle could attest to what they've seen in their division, but we've had a lot of unfriendly calls from concerned citizens regarding the safety in regards to them installing their new facilities along our right of way. Not just particular to one utility owner, but that's just the main thing I've seen is just the safety. The no utility work ahead signs, no flaggers. Hell, I've even seen them right around the road from our division office, riding in the bucket of the truck down the road. And, that's it. Anyway, then there was also them stockpiling materials, whether it be their fiber spools right beside the road, dirt that they piled up, equipment in the road with no cones or anything. So we've had to kind of tighten down on them as far as following our safety and traffic protocols. So that would be the only thing I have to add to that. But other than that, I mean, of course, everybody's about the same. Everything's picking back up. Instructions, full steam ahead, and we just try to make sure everybody's safe, gets home safely, and keep everybody happy. So,
Yep. So Garysburg is you said that Dominion Energy was hit up there?
no, in Garysburg, that was MCNC underground fiber line that was hit in Garysburg, but I think that's been a while, I believe.
Okay. So did
But
I hear you right? Did you say that there was a Dominion Energy line up there somewhere, or?
we did move them for that project. That's like our big 4-lane project going on up there.
On
But then
46?
also in Gaston, which is NC 46 up to the Virginia state line, that's where
So
they're about to start relocating.
I guess I'm asking, Dominion Energy owns some natural gas in that area?
I'm just dealing with
Well, I
the
know
distribution
Piedmont
folks.
Natural Gas has got some up there. They usually attend the meeting, but I'm not sure of, well, I guess, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do here, and I'll share my screen with you so you can walk through.
All right.
Share. We're going to go over here to NC 811. We're going to go to resources, and we're going to go to member services. Nope.
You're about ticket entry.
Now I'm looking for damages. I'm sorry. Maybe I am looking for this. Let me open it up. Uh,
Well, now, I mean, the
damage.
ones I've dealt with, have been different from natural gas. So, like Dominion Energy, I just deal with distribution mostly, and then a little bit of the transmission folks. Then Piedmont Natural Gas, I guess, has their own distribution and transmission folks as well. But I don't think any of their stuff was hit, whether it be
Yeah.
Dominion or uh, Piedmont Natural
I
Gas.
don't see Dominion Energy has any utilities in Halifax. So what I did was I went, they got Dominion North Carolina Power.
Yeah, that would be the distribution folks, probably, or the transmission folks. So,
Yeah, but on the electric side, no natural gas.
yeah. I
I guess
think
that's
the
what I was looking.
further, I'm sorry, I think the further you go out of our division, I think that's when it starts getting into Duke Natural Energy or Duke Energy and probably Dominion. But around my area, most of it is usually Piedmont Natural Gas, which
Yep,
is the natural gas company, and
yep,
then Dominion, which is just straight power in my
that's it.
area. Now, I think
Yep,
in other areas, I think it might combine with Duke Energy, but
yep. There's some
in
Duke
my
Energy in Halifax, and there's that. Let's say Dominion Power. So
mm,
when you said Dominion, I automatically, for whatever reason, go to the natural gas side, and I just knew since I had been over this area that they had never attended that. But yeah, so we're good to go. Did you see
oh,
how
no,
I
you're
got?
fine. And I get it. It's kind of funny. I think Division One's probably the one outlier throughout the whole state because every time I get a call from Raleigh Utilities or Central Utilities, when I speak of Dominion Energy, they think, "Well, which gas line do we hit?" I said, "No, man, this is a power line. This is
Yeah,
not no
yeah,
gas." And they go, "Oh, okay." Well, then they start breathing a sigh of relief. But I don't know what it is about our division that we cover, the 14 counties we cover, but Dominion Energy is just mostly electric or power, and then Piedmont, is like a subsidiary of Duke Energy,
yep,
and that's just in our area. And then once you go south out of Martin, like into Beaufort, Pitt, that's when it'll start tying in back into Duke. At least the last time I saw their chart or organizational chart or services chart that I saw a couple years ago. So,
okay. Did you see how I got here, Daniel? So I went
yes,
to
sir.
one center and then resources, member services, and you have to hit the plus arrow to bring down damage. So you can go in there and type in any county or just click on the county that you want, and it'll tell you everybody who is a member of 811 who has a utility in that area.
Right.
So it's just a quick way to cheat. Yeah.
Oh no, I use NCAA1 all the time.
Okay.
It helps me a lot. I was telling Butch yesterday. I'm sure a lot of Division One. We have a lot of smaller rural areas, and I've talked to Howard about it, and we're trying to work with some of them to, which by law they're supposed to be, or by law they're required to be a member of NCAA1, and you think in
Yep.
the long run they would want to do it to save them money or potentially from any damages, but they
Yeah.
still don't want to do it, or they could complain that they don't have the staffing, work shortages, or even capability to go out and locate it or any of their facilities. But then when I tell them, like, hey, by law, if we call an 811 and you do not mark it or you're not a member and something were to happen, then theoretically and actually technically by law, we would not be required to pay. And
Yep.
then that's when they throw up all the hands and cussing and hollering. But it's sad that I have to almost hold their hand and go out there with them project by project and kind of explain what we're doing and tell them
Yeah.
that their facilities are probably going to get hit
Yeah.
with that, and then it's just stuff like that. So that's
How have they been locating them in the past? They're not receiving. I know back in the day you had to call each individual owner, but now since as you so adequately describe that they have to be a part of 811 or they're not the folks who do the damage. Number one, they don't know that utility's there to avoid the damage. And number two, they can't be held liable because they aren't members of 811. So prior to this, how were they getting their information or locating? And who was locating?
I think how Howard was telling me was because they weren't a member, but so like Piedmont Natural Gas was, and they had almost like a building or facility in that county or particular county. And so whenever they would get it, it would almost come to Piedmont Natural Gas, and they would almost kind of forward it off to, I don't want to throw that water department under the bus, but tell that water department, like, hey, we got a ticket, or you got a ticket.
So it's word of mouth.
Yeah, basically. But
okay.
with it, it is what it is. I can't, you try to explain it to them, and then some of them understand it, and some of them want to, like I said, custom raise hell, and we get to construction, and it's not where they marked it, or not where they say it is, or they've never marked it. Then that's when it starts causing problems and claims to us during the construction, and every other issue arises from there. So,
I understand. How are you, Mr. Pleasant?
Doing fine. Hope y'all are. Sorry I'm late.
No, that's fine. Yep. So we were just getting ready to wrap up. The next meeting is going to be the 17th of January, and that will be in person at Logan's Roadhouse. Did you have anything to add to the conversation? Daniel went over a lot of stuff, and we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, I don't think so. We've got a few bridge projects up in that area, not nothing major.
Yep.
I have to look. There is a interchange project that's on out a ways, but other than project wise, I can't think of anything to bring up.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate you popping on. I hate that Butch had to step down, but he's got to do what's best for him, and being chair for this and then doing his new workload, pulling him two ways. And I understand that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if he had if he was stepping down or not. So I wanted to
yeah, he said he shot me an email week before last. I was still on convalescent leave from my surgery, and I hated to see it, but I understand it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, guys, you guys have a go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was just going to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you have a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. Have a very happy and safe Merry Christmas, and then New Year's, and we will see you on the 17th of January up at Logan's Roadhouse. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds good to me. I appreciate y'all's time.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.